Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a different kind of video. I'm going to be doing a collection video. So today I will be talking about the HMV Premium Collection. So the HMV Premium Collection, they're a Blu-ray collector's label. It started in 2016 and it is still going at the time of this video. They're spine numbered and there are currently about 140 titles in the collection. They normally release them normally about 2 or 3 each month. I currently have 40 in the collection, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to show them off since I hit 40. I actually did have 38 before, but I recently purchased 2 more just to get that number up to 40 in preparation for this video really. And I really like the HMV Premium Collection because they do a really wide range of movies from different genres such as sci-fi, western, comedy, dramas, all sorts really, and you do get a real mixture of films here. Some of them, well probably most of them are fairly mainstream films. You do get a few lesser known and cult films. Quite a lot of these films are quite critically acclaimed and very good, but you do also get some films in this collection which maybe aren't that good. So for that reason, I'm not necessarily sure that I will be trying to get every title in this collection, but it's certainly the Blu-ray collector's label which I have the most of. Obviously we have other labels like Criterion and Arrow and Masters of Cinema, and I do have some of those, but really the HMV Premium Collection is my personal favourite. So without further ado, I'll be going through the ones that I have in spine number order. Hopefully this video won't be too long. I'll try and get through everything very quickly. But needless to say, with each of these titles, they started off having DVD and Blu-ray discs and digital downloads. Later on they just had Blu-ray and digital downloads, and then the real later ones actually just had a Blu-ray disc. And some of them come with art cards and booklets and posters, and actually all the posters that you see behind me on the wall, they all come from these HMV Premium collections. But anyway, won't waste any more time, let's get to it. So the first one I have is spine number 1, which is Them. So this is a sci-fi monster movie about giant ants attacking people. Really good fun. And yeah, actually the special effects really still hold up very well. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. Next one I have is spine number 2, which is Forbidden Planet. Another science fiction film from 1950s. A very colourful film, very nice to look at. Early appearance by Leslie Nielsen. Really enjoy this one. And next up we have spine number 5, which is All the President's Men, a political thriller. Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, about the Watergate scandal, these 2 newspaper reporters covering the story. I did find it a bit difficult to understand, but it is a very good film, definitely one I will watch again. Next up we have spine number 6, which is Logan's Run. This is a sci-fi film from the 70s, bit cheesy. Some of the special effects haven't aged very well, but it is still a very enjoyable film, and yeah, it is good fun, really enjoyable. Next up we have spine number 7, which is The Shining. So this is obviously a very big film directed by Stanley Kubrick, one of the greatest horror movies ever made, and one of my personal favourites. Jack Nicholson is terrific in this one. Next up we have spine number 11, so this is King Kong, 1933, one of the oldest films in the collection, with that stop motion animation. Really enjoyable, really fun monster movie. Always have a good time with this one. Definitely one of my favourites in the collection. Next up we have spine number 12, The Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938. So this is Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland. Really fun swashbuckling adventure, really colourful. Remember, this is 1938, it looks beautiful in Technicolor, and excellent music by Eric Wolfgang Korngold. Really love this film. Next up we have spine number 15, Jason and the Argonaut. So this is another one of those films with that stop motion animation, Ray Harryhausen special effects. Really good fun, really enjoyable film. Lots of that stop motion special effects. Very iconic scene with the skeletons, with the swords, which is really excellent. So yeah, always a very enjoyable movie. Next up we have spine number 31, which is A Streetcar Named Desire. So this is Vivian Leigh and Marlon Brando, based on the play by Tennessee Williams. Really good drama, really fantastic performances, particularly from Marlon Brando, with his method acting being very much ahead of its time. Really an excellent story. And next up we have spy number 32, which is Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So this is another drama which is based on a play. Again, another play by Tennessee Williams, Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman. Really great performance, and also Burl Ives also gives a great performance in this one. Next up, we have spy number 33, which is Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. This is another film with Elizabeth Taylor. This time she's with Richard Burton, and this is another drama which is mostly set in this house with lots of arguments, and it is a really good drama, fantastic performances. Did find it a little bit depressing at times, not the most enjoyable movie, but still an excellent film. Next up we have spy number 34, White Heat from 1949. So this is a gangster film with James Cagney, and I think it's one of the best gangster movies ever made. Really amazing movie, excellent scenes. James Cagney is brilliant at playing these gangster movies. Really enjoy this one, love it. Next up, spy number 35 is The Public Enemy from 1931. So it's actually the oldest film, I believe, certainly the oldest film that I've got in the collection. And again, James Cagney in a gangster film. This is actually one of his first roles. It was earlier than White Heat. Still a very good film, although I don't like this as much as White Heat. Then we have spy number 37, which is Point Blank from 1967. This is a thriller with Lee Marvin. I have to admit I didn't enjoy this film quite as much as a lot of the other films in this collection. Probably one of my least favourite films in the collection, simply because with the narrative there's lots of flashback scenes, lots of flash forward scenes, and yeah, a little bit confusing, but it's a very colourful film. Yeah, very 1960s feel to it, so it is very nice to look at. And next up we have spy number 40, Chinatown from 1974. This is one of the best films in the collection for sure. Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway, both brilliant, amazing screenplay, directed by Roman Polanski, also beautiful cinematography and incredible music by Jerry Goldsmith. Brilliant film. Next up, spy number 41, we have Shaft. This is a cult movie, blaxploitation film from the early 1970s with Richard Roundtree playing John Shaft, this detective in New York. And this is a really good fun film. Also fantastic music by Isaac Hayes, so I highly recommend this one. And then we have spy number 46, which is A Clockwork Orange. This is a famous film directed by Stanley Kubrick. Very weird, very controversial movie. Definitely one that people should check out, although it is one of those films that not everybody is going to enjoy. And to be honest, I can see why. Though it is a film that, as I've watched more and more, I do appreciate it more. So might be one which requires multiple viewings to get the most out of. And then we have spy number 47, which is The Maltese Falcons. This is a detective film with Humphrey Bogart playing Sam Spade. And this is an excellent movie, one of those best film roles from 1940s. Bogart is always good in these sorts of roles. Yeah, one of those films that's got great supporting cast, Sidney Greenstreet, Mary Astor, Peter Lorre, and yeah, just an all-round excellent movie. Then up next we have spy number 48, which is Casablanca. So this is probably the best film which is in this collection, really. Certainly one of the best films, one of the most iconic films. Probably don't need to say much more, but this one is actually thicker than all the other spines, and that's because it has a booklet. And I'll actually just show you, I haven't been showing all the art cards and stuff because the video gone for ages, obviously, but you get this really nice booklet with it, if you can see here, and yeah, with some pages. So that is really nice, and yeah, I mean, no matter how many times I've seen this film, I always really enjoy it. Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, brilliant story. Beautiful characters, just an all-round amazing movie, one everybody needs to see. And next up we have spy number 49, which is The Big Sleep from 1946. It's another Humphrey Bogart film, this time alongside Lauren Bacall. So Bogart and Bacall, they did 4 films together, and this one is actually, it's a bit of an unusual film because it's a thriller. I did find the plot a bit convoluted, a bit difficult to understand, but if you just sit back, relax and enjoy it, you'll definitely get the most out of it. So next up we have spy number 57, which is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So this is from 1939. Jean Arthur and James Stewart. James Stewart's character is Senator. He goes to Washington DC, and it is an excellent film. I did find it a bit of a slow start to begin with, but that ending scene, the final sort of half hour or so, is absolutely brilliant. James Stewart gives a great performance in this one. Next up we have spy number 58. Excuse me, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. It's a Western, Warren Beatty and Julie Christie, and it is a good film. I didn't enjoy this quite as much as a lot of the other films in the collection. It's directed by Robert Altman. A lot of his films don't really have much of a plot, and there's lots of overlapping dialogue, and yeah, not really my kind of Western, though it is a very authentic and realistic film, and the final half hour is very good. Next up we have spy number 60, The Last Picture Show from 1971. So a real coming of age movie set in Texas in the 1950s. And if I'm honest, it is a bit like McCabe and Mrs. Miller, one of those films that doesn't really have much of a plot in my opinion. Although the acting is very good, the drama, it's interesting, but just really not much seems to be going on. And yeah, as you can tell, the front cover is a bit boring, which in my opinion sort of sums up the film. But still, I can appreciate this movie, and it is one I will watch again. Next up, spy number 62, Treasure of the Sierra Madre from 1948. So this is a film I really enjoy. Humphrey Bogart plays a real different kind of role in this film, looking for treasure in the desert in Mexico. Bogart is much of a darker side in this film, so this is definitely a brilliant film. Next up we have spy number 63, Bad Day at Black Rock. This is from 1955. This is one of those films that has a really simple plot, but for some reason I found this really engaging. I really enjoy this film. Spencer Tracy comes to this town where something suspicious has been happening, and everybody's wondering why he's coming to this town. But I won't say much more. Go and check this one out for yourself. And then we have spy number 70. Mutiny on the Bounty from 1935. I love this film. Clark Gable and particularly Charles Lawton, fantastic. This is a really good fun adventure film, really good old-fashioned movie. I absolutely love it. Then we have spy number 72, Wait Until Dark from 1967. This is a thriller with Audrey Hepburn, and this film feels a lot like an Alfred Hitchcock film, but it's actually directed by Terence Young, who directed some of the earlier James Bond movies, and it's a really excellent movie. Audrey Hepburn plays a blind woman who is taken advantage of by these burglars who pretend to be friends or pretend to be police. But yeah, I won't say much more, but it's a really brilliant film, real edge of your seat stuff. Next up we have spy number 74, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town from 1936. This is a classic story directed by Frank Capra. Very inspirational, uplifting film. Gary Cooper and Jean Arthur as well. They give great performances, and very sentimental film at times, but also just a very nice, enjoyable movie. Next we have spy number 76, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is from 1939. So this is obviously a very classic story from Victor Hugo, but Charles Lawton, he plays the Hunchback so brilliantly, and I actually really like the cinematography in this film. Very beautiful film, set in obviously medieval, Renaissance, Paris, with obviously Notre Dame Cathedral. Also, Maureen O'Hara is absolutely beautiful in this film. I couldn't take my eyes off her when I was watching this film. Amazing movie, definitely worth a watch. And then we have spy number 84, which is To Have and Have Not from 1944. So this is another film with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and I like this one probably more than The Big Sleep, because this one's plot is actually quite similar to Casablanca in lots of ways, with it being set in this diner, well, not diner, sort of cafe, I suppose, with the relationship between the two characters. Just a really nice romance, but also a very nice drama as well. Real excellent movie. So next up we have Key Largo, which is spy number 85, came out in 1948. So this is yet another film with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. And I think this is actually probably my favourite of the three that I've seen so far, because this one's much more of a thriller than a romance. There really isn't that much of a romance angle between Bogart and Bacall in this one. Also, we get Edward G. Robinson. It's this gangster called Johnny Rocco, and it's really excellent. And I actually watched this film quite recently for the first time. Really enjoyed it. As you can probably see, I've got a poster for Key Largo behind me up there. you might have noticed that. Spy number 88 is next, Mrs. Miniver. So this is the one that I watched the most recently, only 2 or 3 days ago, I believe, and it's a real amazing movie. Greg Arson, Walter Pidgeon, set in England during World War II, just about how the lives of this family are changed because of the impact of the war. Just a beautiful drama and excellent performances. And then we have Spy number 89, which is Dr. Zhivago from 1965. So this is it's an epic film, epic romantic film set during the Russian Revolution. Omar Sharif and Julie Christie, real beautiful film, excellent cinematography, beautiful music by Maurice Jarre. Yeah, so this movie, it's, if you like those epic romantic movies, ones like Gone with the Wind, for example, this is one I would definitely appreciate, and it's directed by David Lean as well, who is an excellent director. Next up, we have Spy number 90, which is Barry Lyndon from 1975. This is directed by Stanley Kubrick. It's a period drama, very long film. It's another one of those films with gorgeous cinematography. I think this is one of the most beautiful looking films I've ever seen. Also great music. Ryan O'Neal is really excellent in this, and it has a real Stanley Kubrick feel to it. I'm a very big fan of Stanley Kubrick, so if you like Kubrick, you definitely need to check this one out. And then we have Spy number 104, which is Gun Crazy. So this film, very much a forerunner to Bonnie and Clyde, about this couple that go on the run, committing robberies and murders and things like that. And it is actually a really enjoyable film, and I particularly like the camera work in this film. It is all very good, particularly since this film came out in the early 50s, or late 40s rather. Very much seems very ahead of its time in terms of the technical aspects of the filmmaking, which I really appreciate. And then we have Spy number 115, which is Top Gun, which came out in 1986. This is obviously a very famous film with Tom Cruise playing Maverick as this fighter pilot. Yeah, it's real good fun, real cheesy stuff, real good 80s film. I really actually love the soundtrack to this film. I particularly like the song Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, and of course Take My Breath Away by Berlin. So yeah, it's good fun, Top Gun, no complaints there. And then we have Spy number 117, which is To Catch a Thief. This is directed by Alfred Hitchcock with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly. Not one of Hitchcock's best films in my opinion, but Alfred Hitchcock's done so many great films that that's really not a bad thing. Cary Grant is charming as ever, and Grace Kelly is absolutely gorgeous, so I do recommend this one. Then we have Spy number 118, Fatal Attraction, which came out in 1987. This is an excellent thriller actually. Glenn Close in particular gives a great performance. Very terrifying stuff in some scenes. Definitely worth watching. And then we have, almost done by the way, then we have Spy number 119, which is Airplane, came out in 1980. So this is a comedy film, really funny stuff actually. I really do enjoy this film. I watched it again recently, seen it quite a few times. Leslie Nielsen in particular is brilliant with his one-liners and his puns. Real funny stuff. If you like your classic comedy films, you definitely need to watch this one. And the last one, we have Spy number 126, which is Superfly. So this is a blaxploitation film from the early 70s, quite similar to Shaft, and it's set in New York, except this is about a drug dealer. If I'm honest, I wasn't too keen on this film. I can appreciate it for what it is. It's a bit too dark, and yeah, the plot wasn't too interesting, but still, I can appreciate it for what it is. Phew. So there we go guys, so that is it. So that is my HMV Premium Collection. As I said, I have 40 titles. I will definitely be looking to collect more in the future. As I said, I don't know if I'll collect every single title in the collection, because obviously because of the money and because not all the films look too great to me. Some of them are rather hit and miss. There are some excellent films in this collection as you've seen, but there are some films which I don't think are that great. But nevertheless, it's always good to watch new films and see what you think of them. So there we go, so that's pretty much it for this video. I might do some more collection videos in the future. Obviously I do have some Criterions, I have some Arrows, I have some Masters of Cinema, but I don't have a lot of those, so I might wait until I get a few more in those collections before I do a proper collection video. Otherwise the video won't be very long. So anyway, as usual guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you watched the whole of the video. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully the video wasn't too long or boring for you. Hopefully you managed to get through it. But yeah, anyway, thank you all very much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.